Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show that has finally decided to leave the TNA roster. This is Lost in the Midcard, episode 26. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on Twitter at JBHuskers. And as always, I've got my co-host here at Raw F Showtime on the Twitter, Matt Black. Matt, how are you doing on this Battleground Sunday?
I would just like to wish TNA the best in their future endeavors.
Yeah, last week we said we were still on the roster, one of the few, but now we've decided to leave the roster now that MVP has decided to go.
It's all downhill from here, brother.
Yep. Well, like you said, the last one left to turn off the lights. Well, Dixie, I think it's about time to turn off the lights.
Yeah, it's getting bad, dude. It's getting they're taping a whole bunch of TV. I guess this week. I'm super curious to see who's even on these shows.
Rockstar Spud for the TNA World Title, right?
Oh, man.
We just had witnessed WWE Battleground on the WWE Network. This is our Battleground review show. Unfortunately, Trevor is out of town on assignment or something, so he's not able to join us tonight. So you just get me and Matt here just telling Trevor how much he was wrong.
Pretty much.
Yeah, without giving anything away, just a generic overall impression of the pay-per-view. What did you think?
A generic overall impression, I'll say it was a night of good wrestling, which left a bunch of questions leading into Raw tomorrow, which I would imagine was WWE's way of making sure everybody tunes into the show Monday night.
Yeah, I think it was a solid pay-per-view. I think due to one less match on the card, the others got time, and it helped every other match on the card. I mean, we really didn't have a stinker on the card.
I agree.
Maybe the main event, which we'll get to in a little bit. But
I didn't think it was a stinker.
It was good. It was good. Yeah. So just because of how short it went, maybe, is the only thing I'm thinking of there. But we'll get to the descriptions, our reviews of Battleground in just a minute. We got a couple of newsworthy items here to take care of before we get to Battleground. One is at the NXT Takeover event that is happening on the WWE Network Saturday, August 22nd. Big name is coming to NXT in the name of Jushin Thunder Liger. He's going to be taking on Tyler Breeze. For those who do not know, he is a Japanese wrestling legend. As of late, he's been wrestling for Ring of Honor, and most notably, he wrestled in his days with WCW as well. Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer says that he feels like it's a major political move because of the Ring of Honor event at the same night in Brooklyn is going to have a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling stars. But I don't know. Maybe it's a political move, Matt, but maybe it was just an opportunity to bring someone into NXT. What do you think?
I thought it was a mind-blowing move. I totally didn't see it coming. I mean, you're looking to combat Ring of Honor's Field of Honor show that's happening in the same area, and you bring in Jushin Thunder Liger. I was blown away by that announcement. I think I saw it on my phone. Did I say?
Do you think
it was Thursday night, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I came out of the Ant-Man movie, and I'm looking on my phone, and like everybody online's flipping out about Jushin Thunder Liger coming to NXT, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Do you think it's an ROH political move, or is it just the fact
this has nothing to do with Ring of Honor? William Regal went to Twitter this weekend to speak on it. Actually, let me see.
Do you think it's more to do that they have that lack of Japanese presence with Hideo Itami on the injured side? Do you think?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think they were just looking for an additional attraction. Regal came out about this 2 days ago on Twitter, and he said people are looking for a story where there isn't one. Sometimes just being around enough, you can call a friend. It really is as simple as me making a call to a friend I've known since 1986 to come and compete for NXT. Really? Now please stop asking. So Regal's got no reason to lie.
No.
So you know what? I'm going with him, man. I think it was just. I bet you Regal suggested this to Triple H, and Triple H says, "Hey, if you can get it, sounds like a great idea. Let's do it." And one thing led to another. Liger is allowed to take bookings out of New Japan. I mean, that's a part of his deal, and he's set to go. So I think it's awesome. I'm thrilled about it.
I do too. I think it's going to be a great match pairing him with Tyler Breeze. Right now, Tyler Breeze really hasn't had a feud to speak of right now, so just seeing two guys go at it in the ring without any kind of backstory, is with these 2 minutes going to be a good entertaining match. Jushin Thunder Liger is 50 years old, but if you've been watching Ring of Honor, you know the man could still go.
Yeah, and what's great about the suit that he's in, you can't tell that he's 50 years old. And he doesn't move like he's 50 years old either. He still moves really good for his age. Mm-hmm. And I'm super pumped to see him and Tyler Breeze at Takeover. I think they're going to have a hell of a match. I would say it's going to be a lot like his match with Dalton Castle on Ring of Honor TV about a month ago.
Yeah, I think an already good card is shaping up to just be an excellent card as they stray away from home, and they're at the Barclays Center the night before SummerSlam. So I unfortunately won't get to watch it live as I will be doing my DJing gig, so I'm going to have to catch that Sunday afternoon before SummerSlam, and then we can cover both shows on the SummerSlam post show. We'll let you know our thoughts with that show. As I'm assuming with most takeover shows, they do not disappoint, so it'll be fun to watch. And just adding a legend like Jushin Thunder Liger, a man that's been everywhere but never in the WWE, it's going to be fun. Well, as we stated in the open, we have left the TNA roster, and so has somebody else. According to PW Insider, it is reportedly known that MVP has officially left TNA Wrestling. A lot of it has stemmed through the story that we announced last time on Lost in the Midcard, where there is a contractual obligation for Hernandez still in Lucha Underground, which has prompted TNA to have to remove him. And so this has frustrated MVP to the point that it is no more for him. On his Facebook account, MVP wrote, "The BDC is no more, so long TNA." And Matt, you know the pieces have been falling constantly. Is MVP an important piece to that puzzle still for TNA, or do you think it's a big blow for TNA, or do you think it's not really?
I truly think it was. MVP was one of my favorite people that still remained on their roster. They're losing everybody that I really care to tune in and see. I'm trying to think of beyond Bobby Roode and the Knockouts right now, who I really care to tune in on Wednesday night and watch Impact for anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm at a loss. I mean, Angle's out hurt. Jeff Hardy's out hurt. I mean, I like Matt, so I mean, I guess I can tune in to see Matt Hardy and Bobby Roode. I mean, I like Ethan Carter okay, but Ethan Carter III, no offense, is not enough for me to remember to sit down on a Wednesday night and watch the show as it airs, quote unquote, live.
Who won that?
I'll DVR it and I'll skim through it and watch it afterwards. But I don't know, man. I think they're losing people at a rapid rate right now, and it's really decreasing my interest on their product.
Who won the Battle Royal, by the way?
Drew Galloway.
Drew Galloway. So Galloway faces EC3.
They did it in the main event of the show Wednesday night. And surprise to practically no one. The one guy from the Rising that no one can remember his name turned heel on Drew Galloway. And
was it Camacho or the other guy?
No, the other guy that nobody knows who it is. I hit Drew Galloway with a crutch and cost him the championship.
Well, I mean, the BDC was a big part of TNA, going back to when they debuted in Destination America with their feuds with Lashley. I enjoyed the BDC. They were a great stable. And, it's a big blow, I think, because, but at the same time, BDC was taking blows left and right anyways with Samoa Joe leaving, so. MVP's 41 right now. WWE probably ain't going to go for him, because I'd assume MVP wouldn't just go to NXT. I mean, he's been such a main event player, or not a main event player, but a big player for the WWE for years. So, do you think he goes to Global Force or New Japan, or what do you think is the next step for MVP, Matt?
I would think his most likely destination, if he's staying in the States, is honestly going to be Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
and
I would love him to be like I would like him to kind of come out to be not.
Maybe,
we were talking
maybe he goes and joins Hernandez and Lucha Underground. I don't know.
That'd be funny. I'd like to see him be kind of the mastermind of the New Day, like maybe the higher power, not turn them into the BDC like we were talking about.
That's the problem. That's what would happen.
You think so?
Yes, because the New Day's too much positive comedy right now, and MVP's not a comedy character. I don't think MVP and the New Day would mesh very well. I will totally see MVP back in New Japan. Before I see him back in a WWE ring.
Well, hopefully we see him somewhere where we can catch him on TV. Unfortunately, I don't get access that I know of, but...
I love that channel, dude, for the New Japan Wrestling on Friday nights.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he goes to Ring of Honor, my personal opinion, if he does not go to the WWE. Once again, Vince McMahon has a thing for changing names.
What? What?
I do not like first names. Apparently,
what kind of name is Wade?
Apparently, according to Wrestler Observer Radio, Wade is no more. It's going to be either Barrett, King Barrett, or Bad News Barrett. Wade Barrett is now dead. This has been a growing trend. Guys with like Rusev, Cesaro, Big E, Neville, all of them have lost their names along the way to just become a one-name person like Cher and Madonna. Why does Vince have such a boner for dropping to one name? Can you explain this to me, Matt?
I can't explain anything to Vince McMahon's logic. We can just ask him ourselves, and maybe he'll try to explain it to us.
Yeah,
but, I can't explain to us. Vince, can you tell us why you hate people's first names?
I got him on Skype. Let me add him in here right now. I'm sure he's not busy. God, it's weird. I don't know. I mean, what's the difference? It's one more syllable. It's not like his first name had 5 syllables in it or something.
Vince is I don't know.
Just another example of power hungry Vince.
I just think he's out of touch, and I think he's focusing worry way too much on things that don't matter whatsoever.
Well, let's focus on tonight and tonight's event, WWE Battleground live from St. Louis, Missouri. We open up the match here with first off the pre-show. We've got ourselves the battle for the crown with King Barrett and King What's Up? And to nobody's surprise, again another solid match, kind of like what they had a couple weeks ago on Raw. A good 8 to 10 minute match. Both are great workers in the ring, so it's no surprise that they could put on a solid opener for the crowd. And King Barrett goes over R-Truth for the win there. We all were we all were worried about Truth, but we all picked Barrett, wasn't that right?
I'm pretty sure everybody picked Barrett.
We were all worried in the back of our minds, though.
We were like, we're picking Barrett, but we're not going to be surprised if Truth wins.
What if you book if you're the head writer at WWE, which we all wish you were, what do you do for Barrett at SummerSlam?
Oh,
what would you like to see?
You want me to be perfectly honest?
Well, yeah.
I don't even see him on...
I want you to lie.
I don't even see him on the card for SummerSlam.
Not even on a kickoff show.
Maybe a kickoff. But as far as the main card, with Stain and the Undertaker, obviously obviously with Stain and Undertaker coming in to work SummerSlam and Brock Lesnar working SummerSlam, I don't see any room for Barrett on the SummerSlam card. I really don't. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we see Barrett at SummerSlam unless it's in some sort of kickoff match.
Taking SummerSlam out of the equation, what feud would you like to see him in next? Who would you like to see work with Barrett?
I would have preferred to see him and Ryback.
Yeah.
For the Intercontinental title over Big Show and Miz.
Yeah, I think that would be an entertaining feud. Ryback's gotten so much better at promos, we all know Barrett's a great promo man. So I think that would work. I'd like that. I like that idea. We kick off the main card with Sheamus against Randy Orton. It was a match that we weren't too excited for just because the build-up was a little lackluster thanks to Orton taking a couple weeks off. But, I mean, I liked how the feud was shaping up where they were both causing each other DQs, hitting each other with chairs, and everything like that. But Orton taking a couple weeks off kind of took some steam away from the match, or from the build-up. But the match itself was pretty damn good for an opener, 16 minutes. We fully expected this to be a physical kind of fight, and it definitely was. And obviously the St. Louis crowd was hot for Orton. Were you kind of surprised Lillian Garcia didn't pop him further by saying he's from St. Louis? I thought that was kind of odd.
Sometimes WWE tends to, I don't know why, but when wrestlers are in their hometown and they're not looking for that Mecca hometown pop, they have the announcers purposely dismiss where they're from. I don't understand why, but I mean, it happens.
Which was the ultimate surprise in the fact that Randy Orton went over here, because usually they like to not embarrass, but just not give this hometown crowd the satisfaction that their hero is gonna come out on top. But did you enjoy the match at least?
Yeah, the match was solid, but Orton and Sheamus, I mean, I've been over this match since the night after WrestleMania 28. I mean, I want this feud to die, if
think it
possible. Can we end it, please?
I don't see where it can continue from here. But
you know what? At this point, you're trying to plug in pieces for SummerSlam. If you're doing Taker and Brock 101, and Sting's locked in with Roman Reigns to face Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, wouldn't it make sense for Randy Orton to go back after Seth Rollins for SummerSlam?
It would.
I mean, I can't think of anybody else to put in line right now if everybody else is going to be busy. Personally, I do a triple threat with Taker, Brock, and Rollins.
Well, when we get to the main event, we got some talking to do about that.
I know, I can't help it. I'm over anticipating SummerSlam right now.
There are a few things that it's okay, no problem at all. There are a few things I want to bring up though once we get to that point, because I got some questions I want you to answer just to see what you think here. Tag team title match.
We can get Vince on here. We can just ask him.
Oh yeah, let me just Skype him up here. I don't think he's busy. I mean, he didn't really have anything going on tonight, did he?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Oh, you might have been watching Total Divas.
That's on Tuesdays, damn it!
My bad. Okay, he was watching the replay of Total Divas. Tag team title match time. The primetime players, millions of dollars against the New Day Rocks. The New Day Rocks. Kofi Kingston and Big E with Xavier Woods on the outside. And I tell you what, Matt, Xavier Woods is just gold on the outside of the ring every time.
It, man. He was
like a little baby. He was like a little kid sitting there on the stairs like, I didn't do anything. One more thing to go back to. You know what? One more thing to go back to. Whoa, shit. One more thing to go back to Randy Orton. What do you? Now you said you were talking about Seth Rollins, but I just feel like he's so far removed from that title picture. Do you think they just use Money in the Bank defeating the Money in the Bank holder as a way to boost him up there? Or I just wanted to I had a kind of a question when you said that.
I'm just saying, who else do you put in the slot?
Yeah.
Has Orton ever gotten his one-on-one rematch with Seth Rollins? I mean, hasn't every title match he's had against Rollins been a multi-man match?
Good point. I wanted to think he did have one, but maybe not.
I mean, maybe I'm just blanking out on it. But I mean, I remember the title shot he had was at Payback, and it was a fatal 4-way with Roman and Dean involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions regarding SummerSlam right now, which honestly I think when you're going into one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year and you have this many questions, it makes for must-see TV because you want to see what they're going to do. And hopefully they do it right.
Yeah. Well, and then bridging between Orton and Sheamus and then the New Day and Primetime players, I said this after Sheamus got pinned again. I go, this just cements my feeling that Sheamus should not have won and they should have gave Kofi the damn Money in the Bank contract.
But I mean,
never dropped the tag titles from New Day, and all of a sudden you've got the fastest rising heel faction with a lot of power right now.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, there's no way, there's no way they should have lost. But at the same token, when you're talking about Sheamus and Money in the Bank, I mean, it's been history proven over the last few years. Whoever wins Money in the Bank loses a bunch before they cash in.
Yeah.
So because it's Vince McMahon logic that lines up a whole bunch of potential challengers for the new champion once they cash in the briefcase, because they think whoever holds the briefcase at any given time is pretty much Teflon, because they can cash in and win the title at any time, and they think everybody's going to forget about how they booked them leading up to that point. I think New Day has a lot more problems than Sheamus does, because there was no reason they should have lost the titles, let alone lost the rematch tonight.
Well, I know, but like I was saying, they should have had the tag titles all along, never lost them once, and then Kofi wins, and then look at it. All of a sudden, you've just given meaning to that group more than ever.
Yeah, I know, but it's Vince, and
surprisingly, the tag team title match was the shortest match of the night, clocking in at 9 minutes. Primetime players go over, which surprised all of us, obviously, because we all picked New Day. Who, unless they do a 4-way for the title, who would be even logical to put in there to face the Primetime players at SummerSlam?
The feud's got to continue. Who else do they have?
Yeah.
What heel? You don't have a heel tag team right now that's ready to step up and face the Primetime players at SummerSlam. And it ain't that. It's not the Ascension. The Ascension is not ready to work SummerSlam. I mean, unless you throw them in a multi-man match where they can just be an afterthought, they're not ready. And Rowan's out. How many months is Rowan out for?
I thought they said 6 to 8.
Yeah, dude, if that's the case, then it sure as heck ain't gonna be Rowan and Harper. And that would have been the prime team to feud the Primetime players with. But it can't happen. So to me, as far as I'm concerned, they're back to being millions of jobbers. They had their feel good tag team moment, with titles, and I'm sorry, but it's the New Day's time, not yours, and they need to drop those damn belts.
From the end of June, it looks like the rest of 2015, so more like maybe possibly 6 months, not quite 8.
So around Royal Rumble return.
Yeah, so he'll be he'll probably be a returnee, and then just get a couple of guys out, and then just get thrown over the top rope with little to no fanfare, I'm guessing. Next up here, we get ourselves Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Now, this was a tale. The beginning, and for me, the beginning and the ending were great to this match with a real long middle. Did you see it that way too, Matt?
I thought the match was fine. I didn't think it was great. I had somebody on Twitter tell me after I proclaimed that the Divas match was the best match of the night, I had someone tell me that Roman and Bray were better. To which I said, your opinion, LOL, because I wasn't getting into it with him. But I don't.
Is it somebody we know?
Honestly, yeah, it's someone I know. I don't know if you know him.
No.
Honestly, I think it was the weakest match of the card.
Nah, the tag match was, I think.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was because of Xavier Woods at ringside. But I enjoyed the tag match more than I enjoyed.
Which has nothing to do with the in-ring work at all.
I know, but it's still the overall factor of the match. I found the tag title match to be more entertaining. So
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it was the Xavier Woods factor at ringside that made me enjoy it more. I don't know. I really don't. But I love the pacing. I thought Roman and Bray was the weakest. If I had to pick the weakest match on the card, that would be it.
I loved the pacing early on. They were great. It was just too much of a long, slow, drawn out in the middle. But
I'm just not sold on the story.
The end it got a lot better, obviously, which is the way the match was designed. While the ref was distracted, a guy in a black hoodie attacks Roman Reigns, kicks him in the gut, throws him into the ring as he walks into the Sister Abigail, and of course that is none other than Luke Harper. Luke Harper has kind of been in limbo ever since Eric Rowan got hurt about a month ago. So it's good to see Harper back and aligned with Wyatt, and the crowd popped pretty nicely for the reuniting of that duo. Yeah,
because they needed to do something for both guys. So if you're gonna do something, you might as well do this. And all rumors I'm hearing suggest that Sting is involved with Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. So if that's the case, it certainly looks like Roman Reigns and Sting against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper
at
SummerSlam, and I think that'll be awesome. It gives a really good rub to Roman Reigns, and it allows Sting to get a win in the W column in his WWE career. So I think it's a win for everybody involved.
Yeah, definitely excited to see where that goes, and then see where the future of Sting goes after that, because who knows if he's going to wrestle his last match at WrestleMania, if he's got a few more in him, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. It is Divas time here at WWE Battleground. We have a triple threat. One lady from each team of, first the team of what they call, was it Bad and Dangerous, or...
Beautiful and Dangerous.
Beautiful. Oh, Bad and Dangerous is just Tamina. I'm sorry.
which is it's odd because all last week they were calling themselves the best at dominating, and now they're Beautiful and Dangerous. So I guess they just decided to change that up this week. I don't know. I really don't care.
Vince didn't like that name either.
Vince doesn't like anything involving the Divas. That's why he needs to keep his hands off this division for as long as humanly possible.
So we got that group of Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina, and Sasha Banks is going to be the wrestler in that match for that little group. We got Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, and Charlotte is going to be in the match for them. And then Team Bella, Nikki was teasing it, which made me think, okay, somebody's going to pin her, and then we got ourselves the title match set up for SummerSlam. But no, Nikki doesn't want to fight tonight, so Brie goes in instead. So we got ourselves a triple threat with Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Brie Bella, and the St. Louis crowd loved it, man.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And honestly, it was my match of the night that would have gone to Owens and Cena had the finish not have been weak as fuck.
A lot of like a boss chants for Sasha Banks, even though she's a heel. The kids like her because she is one hell of a talent, and a lot of great back and forth action in this match. Brie Bella channeling her inner Daniel Bryan with some yes kicks there, which was kind of odd considering she's a heel, but I digress. We got ourselves some of the traditional moves like the Sasha double knee stomp through the corner there. Just some great work here with the ladies. We got ourselves a little bank statement, but that was broken up, and in the end, Charlotte gets the figure eight and puts that on Brie and makes her tap out. So after 12 minutes, hey, the WWE gave the ladies 12 minutes tonight. Charlotte comes out on top, and it'll be interesting to see if Charlotte's the one they put in a singles match with Nikki Bella at SummerSlam.
Let me just state for the record, I would have been hella pissed if Brie Bella would have won this match.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
everybody.
I might have thrown a Pepsi at the TV or something. Like, you know, and I like the Bella twins, you know, probably more than most people. But if Brie would have beaten Sasha Banks and Charlotte tonight, I would have lost it. There would have been a rant of epic proportions on this podcast tonight.
We saw, I think Sasha shined the best in this match out of the three ladies. But at least Michael Cole got it right and called it the figure 8, not the figure 4 this time.
He called it figure 8 on Raw, too.
No, he said figure 4.
If he did, he corrected himself, and the very next sentence called it the figure 8. He definitely called it the figure 8 on Monday.
He corrected himself and called it the figure 8 on the very next segment.
I don't remember that, but I'll let you off on that one.
Yeah, but, trust me, go back to Twitter and see how much.
If he went and corrected himself, then everybody needs to get off his back about it. Because, Vince didn't tell him to correct it.
He probably didn't know it either. All right, let's take a break from Battleground before we get to our final two matches of the night. And we got a lot to talk about in those two matches.
What?
We get to our top 5, as we always do on our pay-per-view review shows. And this week, basically in the honor of Jay Lethal, who got the World Heavyweight Championship for Ring of Honor at Best in the World a couple of weeks ago, culminating in a 14-year journey for him to get his first ever world title. We take a look at some great journeys in the WWE to their first title, and this can count as the World Heavyweight title or the WWE title. Either or, just any world title that has been obtained in the WWE. And I'm going to go start off here at number 5 with Rey Mysterio. This is a guy that started out in 1992 at AAA and spent 5 years with the WCW group until they folded in 2001. He joined the WWE in 2002 and finally won the world title at WrestleMania 22, defeating Angle and Orton. I think it's great because he'd been such a good wrestler for so long, but I think it was so unique for someone that small for the WWE to give a world title to, Matt.
Yeah, I mean he had a good story. I regret to say that I think the only reason he became champion was because of the death of Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that Rey Mysterio fell just outside of my top 5 for journeys to a WWE World Championship. Because I feel if it wasn't for, while the story and the journey was cool, I feel if Eddie would still be with us today, I don't know if Rey Mysterio would have ever been WWE champion.
Did he get it back a second time ever?
He was definitely champion at least another time because he won that tournament for the title when CM Punk walked. And then he lost the title to Cena, and then Punk Punk came back.
When he lost that title to Cena, the internet exploded that night.
Well, no, because it was only like 3 minutes of Cena holding the title before Punk returned.
True, but at that moment, people were like, "Oh fuck."
I don't.
Who's your number 5, Matt?
My number 5 is the hardcore legend, Mankind, Mick Foley.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, I thought he had a hell of a journey to the WWE Championship, and I think his journey ended in what was the final changing tide of the Monday Night War. On a taped Monday Night Raw, defeating The Rock for the championship. WCW tried to spoil it for people, and everybody turned the channel on to witness history. So, yeah, I'm giving Mankind in my 5 spot there.
Yeah, that's a guy that I thought about, and I had a hard time between him and the, I could have put him anywhere with the guys that I have at 3, 4, and 5, and, I fully agree. That was a hell of a journey, and thank you, Tony Schiavone, Eric Bischoff, all that were involved for making
butts in the seats.
It did. It put butts in the seats for quite a long time. My number 4 is Eddie Guerrero. He also started in 1992 with AAA Wrestling, was in WCW for 11 great years, and he came in with the Radicals, Benoit, Saturn, and Malenko. And in 2004, he defeated Brock Lesnar, of all guys, for his first WWE title. And again, another journey of a man that had been wrestling for so long and was with the other guys for so long as well. And for them to put the title on him was such a great moment, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, the Eddie Guerrero title win going into WrestleMania 20, I don't think anybody really saw that coming.
And Benoit won the other title the same night, right?
Benoit won the world title the night of WrestleMania 20.
Yep.
So Eddie was defending against Angle at WrestleMania 20 with his WWE title, and Benoit beat Shawn Michaels and Triple H in a triple threat match to close out the evening.
I remember them embracing.
Yeah, it was a big moment at the end of the show. It felt like a changing of the era, so to speak, but it didn't unfortunately work out that way.
Definitely not, unfortunately. Matt, who do you have at number 4?
Number 4, number 3. I was tossing back and forth between both of these guys. You could make an argument for either or at 4 or 3 for my spots, but number 4, I get the Hitman Bret Hart. Came in the 80s, starting out in the tag team. I viewed him really just as as a tag team guy, and my first time I distinctly remember him as a single star was at SummerSlam '91 when the Intercontinental title match with Mr. Perfect, and that match sold me on Bret being more than just a tag team guy. And then a few years later on a random WWE show, Bret Hart's beating Ric Flair for the WWE Championship. And I'm just like, damn, I just watched Bret, go from a lowly tag team, guy, with no singles career or whatever to turning himself into the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So I got Bret Hart at number 4 for Journeys to the WWE Championship.
My number 3 is kind of almost in the same vein as Bret Hart, just about a decade later, and my number 3 is Edge. Edge had started with the Brood in 1997, had a lot of success with Christian as a tag team. They won Edge himself won 14 total tag team championships, which is outstanding. And so you'd think, okay, this guy's just going to be known as a career tag team guy and be successful at it. But then he went up in 2005 at the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match and pulled down that briefcase and then used it at New Year's Revolution to be the first guy to ever cash in, defeated Cena and became the champion. And then from there on out, Edge's stock as a singles wrestler just skyrocketed, and I think he won the WWE title about 6 times. So my number 3 is Edge, just from, the fact that he was such almost seemed like a lifer in the tag team division, but then carved out something on his own and became a Hall of Famer. Who do you have for number 3 there, Matt?
Number 3, as I said, it was a lot like number 4. Starting the tag team division, working his way to the Intercontinental Championship, and getting his childhood dream of being the WWE champion, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels at number 3. I feel his career very much paralleled with Bret Hart's, and they both had a very similar rise to prominence in the WWE right around the same time. And it was a really good time to be a fan, watching the evolution of the product when Bret and Shawn were kind of taking over the WWE product. I thought it was good stuff. I thought Shawn Michaels had a hell of a journey. As I said, him and Bret interchangeable at 3 and 4, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we match here. We get a likeness here because your number 3 is my number 2.
Finally we've matched up on something. I thought we were gonna go this whole time without having the same guy.
Which would be interesting because we get each of our perspectives on something. But yeah, Shawn Michaels the story writes itself, and to be able to win it in a 60-minute Iron Man match against Bret Hart, you know, what a stage, and what a way to do it. And so, yep, I fully agree, and I got him down as my number 2. Who do you got at number 2, Matt?
Number 2 is a guy who, when I first saw him in WCW, I would have never predicted him to become the WWE champion. And that man would be none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Starting in WCW with Stunning Steve, you know, the Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman getting fired via FedEx from Eric Bischoff, going to ECW and making a name for himself as far as cutting promos and having that edge to his character. Yeah,
epic were those promos?
Some good shit there. There's some good shit.
His Hulkamania one was the best.
And then he went to WWE, and Vince didn't know what to do with him. Came in as the Rainmaster with Ted DiBiase. Was able
They wanted him to wear a green singlet.
Yeah, dude, it would have been awful. He was able to create the Stone Cold gimmick, One King of the Ring. Created, had a big hand in creating the Attitude Era with Mike Tyson, and finally became champion. It's a hell of a story, and it's something you'll probably play in WWE 2K16 this year. So the story of Stone Cold Steve Austin is one for the storybooks. So yeah, I mean you can't go wrong with Stone Cold Championship journey at number 2.
Well, Matt, your number 2 is my number 1. I have Stone Cold Steve Austin at number 1, so I'm curious to see who your number 1 is.
My number 1 is most deserving of the number 1 spot.
Obviously, with everything you just said, and then, of course, overcoming the boss who, had transformed into Mr. McMahon at that point, and was doing everything he could to get the title off of Steve Austin, and he finally did it at WrestleMania 14, so I fully agree, and I got him at number 1, so your number 1's going to be probably somebody I've just forgot about and blanked out, but go ahead, brother.
The number 1 journey to the WWE Championship is as simple as one word. Yes. 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 The improbable journey of Daniel Bryan becoming WWE Champion was, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest story WWE never meant to happen. This was not a WWE plan. This was created by the fans and almost forced upon WWE. But Daniel Bryan's journey to the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30 and the magic that he created leading up to that pay-per-view and in that arena at the Superdome.
The Silverdome.
Yeah, brother. It was incredible. It really was. I was in the building. I felt the electricity in that building. I felt it on the streets of New Orleans afterwards. It was one of the most magical title changes that I think I've ever seen. And the emotion in that crowd was real that night. And it was just such a journey for his start. From coming up, being trained by Shawn and Regal, going into Ring of Honor and making it to WWE, starting that NXT crap, getting released, coming back, being a face, being a heel, being tossed around, doing stupid stuff.
Tie choking.
Yeah, man. And the fact that he overcame all that and legitimately became the people's champion, there's nothing more you could say, man. I can't think of anybody that had a better storybook journey to the world, to the WWE Championship than Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I obviously didn't forget about Daniel Bryan. I did think of him, and I don't know. For some reason, I just decided to leave him off. Obviously, the story and the journey were both great. I mean, he'd been a career indie guy, and I just can't really explain why I left him off. I kind of just. The other stories kind of struck me a little more. I think maybe because they were more in the WWE than Daniel Bryan was. I don't know. That's about the only thing I could think of, which is a lame kind of excuse because obviously Daniel Bryan's journey was great, and I just ranked the other guys a little ahead. I probably could have knocked off Rey Mysterio, but and put Daniel Bryan on there.
Like I said, Rey Mysterio was just outside my top 5.
Yeah, so and like I said, Daniel Bryan would have been just outside mine too. So, but hey, those are some good insight there, Matt. As always, we'll bring you a top 5 every pay-per-view review. We'll have to think of something good for SummerSlam, don't we think?
Oh, we're going to do that one that we never got to do the other month. For my idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to do
What is your idea? Let's tease the crowd here. What's your idea?
Okay. It's more, how we like to do fantasy booking on the show. And this is how we're going to do it. Let's say, JB, you or I, we won the lottery, okay? And we have enough money to make our own national wrestling promotion. We could hire 5 people. Anybody we wanted. 5 guys to start our promotion, to center our promotion around the core 5 people. Who are we going to bring in? Who are we going to sign? We have an open checkbook. We can bring in anybody we want, and that's what we're going to be. The top 5 people that we would bring in to start our own wrestling company.
I like it. I like it a lot. We will sit down in our war rooms, get our cornerstones to our organization.
It'll be super interesting to see how our rosters match up, even if we have even one of the same people in our top 5.
I don't know.
It's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really curious to see what both of us put in those 5 spots.
There's a lot of factors you got to look at. You
Yeah.
got to look at age. You got to look at veteranship. You got to get butts in the seats. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. I like that one. Let's bounce back to Battleground, the rubber match, United States Championship, John Cena versus Kevin Owens, and once again they did not disappoint. Some action, basically just back and forth the whole match, just like it has been in the other 2. I actually was surprised that the springboard stunner looked good this time. I don't know if it was camera work, magicry, or what. I just invented a new word too, magicry. But for once, the springboard stunner looked good. The match was great. I think I'm going to still rank it 3rd out of the 3, though. Matt, what do you think?
I would rank it if Owens would have won, or even if Owens would have passed out. I would have given that the number 1 match of the 3. But due to the very piss-poor finish and probably the worst-looking STF I've ever seen Cena apply, and that's saying something, I would put it at number 2 of the 3 matches.
Yeah, Stone Cold's even told him there, you got to snug that thing up. So was that your problem with the ending of the match, or the fact that Owens kicked out of the 3rd AA with the 3rd one being from the top rope?
Yeah, my problem was if they were going to have Owens lose, he should have lost
on the top rope.
On the top rope, attitude adjustment, because no one's ever kicked out of that before. So he would have been pinned on that. No one's going to say anything. No one's going to fault him for that. But after all that, to tap out to, as I said, it was go back and watch it if you weren't really paying attention, or if you were too busy ranting on Twitter about what was going on. Go back and look at how weak and half-assed Cena applied that STF on Owens, and it was an awful STF. And I could even have been okay with it if Owens would have just passed out from exhaustion, and Cena would have won like that. But for him to tap, it was just, yeah, I did not like the finish at all. The worst part is I knew it was going to happen. Well, not to tap out per se, but as soon as they announced at Comic-Con that Kevin Owens was challenging Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at TakeOver, I'm like, well, he's not winning the United States title at Battleground, because they're not going to have the United States Champion compete for for a lower championship on another show.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really took my anticipation out of this match immediately as soon as that match was announced at Comic-Con. I'm like, wow, I even said it on Twitter. If you go back and look at my timeline from around the Comic-Con time, I said that, wow, Battleground, they just ruined Battleground. Because I know Cena's winning now. And, there were a lot of people on my timeline that were shocked that Cena won. I wasn't shocked. I was just disappointed.
I picked Cena to win by DQ just because I thought they were going to continue it on to SummerSlam. Does that mean you think we get another classic with Cena and Cesaro at SummerSlam? Because obviously Rusev's going to face Ziggler. Owens, who knows by now if he starts a new feud or if we get somehow he weasels his way into a triple threat with Cesaro.
I fatal 4-way it at SummerSlam. I put Cena, Owens, Cesaro, and Rusev together in a fatal 4-way.
Well, Rusev's probably going to fight Ziggler.
I don't hear Ziggler's going to be back for SummerSlam.
Oh, really?
Ziggler's out filming a WWE movie right now.
Yeah, I knew he was filming a movie. I figured he'd be back.
I'm under the assumption he's not back in time for SummerSlam.
Okay, then that makes sense to put Rusev in the 4-way then.
I mean, if Dolph's back in time for SummerSlam, it's going to be a mixed tag with him and Lana against Rusev and Summer Rae. But if Dolph is not back in time for SummerSlam, I would do Dolph and the Dolph mixed tag match at Night of Champions. But if he's not back, I throw Rusev in there with the other guys to make it a fatal 4-way. And if Rusev's booked up in the mixed tag, triple threat match with Cesaro. And,
and I fully expect, no matter what happens, I'm fully expecting Owens to walk out at SummerSlam with the title.
See, you're more confident than I am. I'm not.
I don't want to put it on Cesaro because I want him pushed further.
So what do you think? You think Owens pins Cesaro?
I don't know.
Because Cena's not taking the loss.
No, we all know that. He's been pinned clean 10 times in 10 years. So
it's honestly it's utter at this point. And as great as his matches have been this year, when we already know what the result of the match is going to be before it really begins, does it really matter? I would much rather question a result than just know the outcome already going in. It's not as magical that way. I like being surprised. I like the old slogan, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. But since Cena's been involved, it's been anything but anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. It's been, John Cena wins, haha, that's it. And I want to be surprised. I know we do these pick'em games every month, and, it's fun that we poke fun at each other. Do you like being wrong and all that stuff? But honestly, if you give me an amazing show and I'm wrong on every single match and I go like 0-8 or whatever, dude, if you blew me away and you shocked me and you gave me finishes that I didn't expect, I don't care.
Because, I'm happy that I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy to be wrong because you, as a company, went out and you shocked me and you made me believe that on any given night anything can happen in this company. And you know what? That's the thing that sucks. The UFC, you watch the UFC every pay-per-view or every show or every fight night or whatever because you go in there with the attitude that one well-placed punch or kick or knee or whatever could end a match, end a fight or whatever you want to call it and cause a legitimate upset. You don't feel that way in WWE anymore. And it's even worse because WWE can book it to be that way. WWE is creating their own product. They create the results. So WWE could, in fact, be the unpredictable product that would make people want to continue to tune in because you don't know what's going to happen next. Because you literally have control over writing it. But they don't do it. It confuses the hell out of me, JB. I don't know what to tell you.
And that's why I have Cena Owens 1 as my best match out of the 3, just because
I agree.
Everything you've seen in matches 2 in match 3 tonight. Everything you've seen, we saw for the most part in match 1, and we got the shocking ending where I said, remember I famously said, I'm going to lose my shit if Ambrose wins the title. I lost my shit when Owens pinned, I almost called him Steen there, when Owens pinned John Cena. I lost my shit. And so that shocking ending combined with everything else from that match we've seen. Now, obviously, it's all been good. It's all been well put together. But the AA got kind of watered down tonight when Owens kicked out of it 3 times. At least the pop-up powerbomb didn't get watered down because it only happened once. But there's just too much kicking out of finishers, and guys from Steve Austin to JR on their podcasts will say the same, that there's just way too much kicking out, and this tonight really watered down that AA.
Well, I mean, dude, the AA's been watered down for a decade.
True.
Dude, you're hitting people with a motherfucking fireman's carry. Okay,
that's true.
No one should be getting pinned off of a freaking flipping fireman's carry. So all the people that have lost that move over the years, you suck. The WWE scripting to lose to that move is pathetic. If you want to do a real attitude adjustment, turn the damn thing into the Death Valley Driver. There's a move that I'm going to believe when you execute that thing, someone's staying down for a 3 count.
Well, Matt, newsflash, people lost to the People's Elbow, too.
And the Worm.
And the Worm.
It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously. I mean, yeah, you watered down a move that really shouldn't be effective in the first place. So, I mean, it really doesn't, bug me as much as other things. But, yeah, I would go 1, 3, and 2 as far as the matches. If Owens would have won this match, or if Owens would have passed out, I probably could have given this match the edge for the best one of the 3. But they didn't do it. So
I'm gonna have to watch 2 and 3 back to back again just to.
I definitely thought 3 was better than 2. But I really hated the finish.
3 was cleaner. The springboard stunner was good. The little destroyer type of move Cena does was good.
And everybody flipped out for the that neck breaker move.
Yeah.
That Owens did, and the commentators didn't know. What the hell was that?
You just sold me on just on the fact that this was a cleaner match than 2. You sold me that the 3rd match was better than 2.
A solid finish would have made this the best one of the 3. I think they ruined it with the finish.
I don't know. I would have had to. That would be a tough sell for me to put anything over the first match.
If Owens would have won the United States Championship tonight, after kicking out of the 3rd attitude adjustment off the top rope with a 2nd pop-up powerbomb, are you trying to sit here and tell me that you would not have called that the best match of the 3?
I would have honestly had to watch them both back to back. It's a tough sell for me to knock off the first match from the pedestal right now. So
because it's the finish we all wanted. It is the finish that nobody expected.
But we didn't expect them to put on a show full of unique moves, and obviously Owens has got his own set of unique moves, but Cena tried some different things too.
Cena finally made the Yoshi Tonic look decent tonight. It's only taken him like 3 months to actually execute the move properly. Bravo, John. Bravo.
Yeah, springboard, and obviously the springboard stunner is much on the other.
Needs to go.
I don't mind it,
dude. If they're not leading to Stone Cold versus John Cena at WrestleMania 32, I want him to stop doing that move because it looks like shit.
Well, not tonight.
I seriously want him to hit it at SummerSlam and just have the glass shatter. Austin come out and just bitch slap Cena. This is how you do a stunner, you son bitch, and freaking drop him with it.
Oh. And then set up Austin and Cena at WrestleMania. Wouldn't that be?
Yeah,
that would be
Cena and Austin WrestleMania in Dallas. That's your retirement match right there. You don't tell me that wouldn't put asses in seats.
Well, there's 100,000 seats to put asses in, so that probably would do it. Just everybody wants a front row seat to see Cena get his ass whooped by Stone Cold. So we go to a promo from The Miz. The Miz comes out with again wearing some ridiculous stuff that only Hollywood people can wear, apparently. Called Ryback a wuss and for coming up with excuses for not competing tonight, and then a great a great line by The Miz, and I heard Matt laughing all the way from Ohio when The Miz said that the Big Show has done nothing since the Attitude Era.
He said the Big Show's been missing since the Attitude Era.
I heard Matt pop from Ohio.
I did. I'm from Maryland, by the way. And yes, I did pop quite loudly.
It bounced off a tower in Ohio, then.
Yeah, it must have, brother. But no, it was honestly the best line of the night from anybody on the show. So it was good. And then the Big Show found his way out of catering.
Yeah. The Big Show The Big Show apparently was business casual for him today, so he came out in his corporate slacks and gave Miz the KO punch. Kind of odd that two heels did things to pop the crowd. Obviously, Miz is lying on the Big Show, popping him, and then Big Show knocking out Miz, which everybody loves the Miz getting knocked out. As you know, the Miz has been killing it on Tough Talk, and that I think it's time for him to get another main event push. It's been too long, I think. I wouldn't mind it.
Push the Miz. Push the Miz.
Yes, sure. The main event time here, Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. And once again, one of my pet peeves, the champion came out first.
But you know what? Somebody mentioned on Twitter, and I retweeted it, and it makes perfect sense. I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it. But the days of the champion coming out first and second mean a whole lot less when they hold off for the ring introductions until both people are in the ring. Yeah. And once both people are in the ring, the champion is always introduced. And the champion is always introduced last.
Yeah.
So I mean, so that to me, it makes it a whole lot more bearable.
So they want that big pop saved for or more anticipation for Lesnar, obviously. So get that big pop when his music hits. So yeah. I was impressed with Seth Rollins. He was not playing chicken yet. He came right at Brock Lesnar. Obviously not the best move, though, but still, you got to give it to a guy that's been billed as a pussy champion. He did not kind of run tail at the beginning.
Well, he did run tail in the middle.
Yeah, he did run tail in the middle. And how about that hurdle that even though Lesnar about bit it, he still readied himself and picked up Rollins and tossed him over the barricade. But that hurdle was pretty impressive, I thought.
Oh, I didn't think he bit it at all, dude. I thought he was all one stride. I thought he looked amazing.
He stumbled.
I didn't see a stumble, man.
Yeah, I'll watch it again. He stumbled. Oh, he showed it in slow motion when he hurdled it. He stumbled on the landing.
I don't know, man. I thought he looked amazing.
You were too busy marking out over the Big Show getting called missing since the Attitude Era. You're blind.
You're on crack.
Rollins got introduced to Suplex City 13 times, I think. And dear WWE, if you do not have that shirt at SmackDown when I go on Tuesday, I'm gonna suplex the merch guy.
Yikes!
I'm taking him to Suplex City, bitch. So we get 10 minutes in, we get an F5 by Lesnar. 1, 2,
go.
The Undertaker, and he looks pissed off. The crowd popping huge, something we knew was coming. But
here's my question.
It doesn't kill the moment. Undertaker goes for the choke slam. Lesnar fought out of it. Lesnar went for an F5. Undertaker kicks him in the old ding-ding, as Steve Corino would say. And all of a sudden, the referee and Seth Rollins disappeared. I guess they just got scared or something. Choke slam by the Taker with a tombstone, and then another tombstone, and then his patent tongue sticking out death pose, or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, great moment. Undertaker looked great. He looked pissed. Crowd loved it. So, Matt, did Triple H bring him in?
See, that's not my question.
Oh, that's my question.
Well, we're gonna do my question first. You cut me off, you sumbitch.
Well, I wasn't done talking, you sumbitch.
You're sumbitch. First off, as a result, WWE's website lists this match as ending in a no contest, so nobody won. So if anybody was questioning if Lesnar won by disqualification or whatnot, WWE's website is listing the match result as a no contest. So there you go.
If anybody was betting with their bookies on us with our pay-per-view predictions, we are throwing that one out the window.
Exactly. But here's my main question.
Okay.
Did they mean to bring The Undertaker back as a heel tonight?
Well, he did kick a face Lesnar in the nuts.
Yeah, that's I'm legitimately curious if the original WWE plan was to bring The Undertaker back as a heel tonight. And obviously, if that was their plan, they got the exact opposite reaction from that St. Louis crowd.
What they should have done is have Triple H come out, make it look like he's all pissed off and gonna get in the face of Taker, and then they shake hands. Oh, that would have been perfect.
Well, that way you could have clarified for certain that he was meant to be heel. But I mean, I don't know. And I mean, it's a question that leads into Raw on Monday. Was the intention to bring The Undertaker back as a bad guy? Because I don't think it clarified. Yes, he's coming back for revenge on Brock, but Brock's a good guy now by all stretches of the imagination. Plus, Seth Rollins has treated Undertaker's brother like shit for the better part of the last 6 months. So you have to question, Seth Rollins wasn't around. If Seth Rollins was around, would Taker choke slammed him too?
I don't know.
I mean, was he just going after Brock? It leads into a lot of questions going into Raw tomorrow, whether this is going to be Taker and Brock one-on-one, which I really don't like, to be perfectly honest with you, or if they're going to do Taker, Brock, and Rollins in a triple threat match for the title, which I find 10 times more appealing than going Taker, Brock,
plus you can,
whatever
plus
number
you can,
route.
Plus, you can save Taker in a triple threat match just for the fact that WWE likes to book one guy on the floor a lot of the time in a triple threat match. So you could save Taker that way. And obviously, that is a main event card right there, that triple threat on your second biggest pay-per-view of the year. That would just be phenomenal. I still wish Triple H came out acting like he was going to be pissed and they shook hands. That would have been an epic ending to the pay-per-view, rather than just see Taker do a heroic walk-off to a rousing crowd. Just imagine
it would have solidified him being a heel.
Just imagine
the fact that he didn't. You have to question if he is a heel. We don't know. I mean, that's, as I said, that's one of the many questions leading into Raw.
And they did it on purpose so we could watch Raw tomorrow.
Exactly.
We're going to watch Raw tomorrow. We're going to watch Raw
anyway. But I feel we have a lot more reason to look forward to Raw now, because there's a lot more questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, as long as they follow up on it tomorrow and not piddle-paddle it around.
Well, they spent 5 weeks not delivering on Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. We still don't know why they fought tonight. So they can explain why the Undertaker did what he did on Raw. I mean, you still have more of an idea of why the Undertaker did what he did tonight than you do of what Bray did to Roman Reigns in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. It's interesting, and obviously,
and it's so bad. And I hate to go back to Bray and Roman, but it's so bad. You had the commentators all night trying to speculate why this match was even happening, because they didn't even understand it. The best thing they come up, it's personal. Okay, why is it personal? Why?
Well,
just WWE booking, dude. Sometimes it's just
Wyatt cost Reigns his shot at the title because that should have been him in that spot, and so that's kind of the basis of it. I mean, it wasn't just it's personal thing. It was your typical booking where somebody cost somebody and that starts the feud.
It's just why did he cost him? I mean, the whole premise,
because it should have been him, should have been him, and anyone
in the match. It doesn't even make any sense.
Because it should have been him in the match.
The whole premise of the feud made no sense. I know you wanted to like the storyline for the last 5 weeks. But
I do like it. I don't. It's not that I want to like it. I do like it.
Because you're crazy, Jim.
And it was a good match.
Crazy. It was the worst match on the show.
It was not. Tag team match.
No, I disagree.
But overall, a solid night. Less matches, so
it was a good night. It was a look. If you completely eliminate the results of some of the matches, it was a great 3 hours of wrestling. So look at it.
So should they go to the standard or go away from the standard 8 matches plus a kickoff and just do 6 so you can give them more time? I mean, that's what this pay-per-view basically was. It was one match, because I'm assuming the Divas match was already in the books. They just didn't announce it. So I think this was a -1 show.
They chose who was going to participate in that Divas match around 5 o'clock this afternoon.
But I think they had the plans of a Divas match.
They knew after the Ryback match was canceled that they were going to do a Divas match, but they weren't sure which 3 girls they were going to use until sometime Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, my thinking was
I think it was a little bit before, sometime between 5 and 6 o'clock. They decided on who was going to be involved in that triple threat match.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I just think they had in the back of their minds there was going to be some sort of a Divas match already in place, and I think that's why
they wouldn't have had room for it if the Ryback match would have been there.
Well,
they would have had to cut the time on a bunch of matches.
I don't think Wyatt
fit that in.
I don't think Wyatt and Reigns would have went 22 minutes, and I don't think Sheamus and Orton would have went 16 if that was the case.
Good call. But yeah,
and I figured
it leaves a good open thing for debate. Do we want more wrestling and less matches, or do we want more matches and less wrestling? I mean,
this probably ranks as in the upper echelon of if you cut all the pay-per-views in half this year, I think Battleground ends up on the upper half, don't you think? Not top, but it's in the up. It's better than average.
Yeah, I didn't hate the show.
Yeah.
So I mean that's always a good thing. I'm still annoyed that there seems to be no plans in sight for Undertaker to face Sting.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if Taker's going to be heel. I mean, could you have imagined if Taker was going for the second tombstone and the freaking lights went out and the caw-caw? Freaking Sting would have showed up in the ring and pointed the bat at the Undertaker. Dude,
that roof would have.
I would have lost
blown
my shit.
Scotch Trade Center's roof they would need to replace their roof.
Yeah, I would have forgotten all about the main event. I would have forgotten all about the result of Owens and Cena, and I would have been all about, oh my God, Sting's facing the Undertaker at SummerSlam. I need to find a way to get there.
What direction?
Because legitimately, if Sting would have fought the Undertaker at SummerSlam, a show that I had no intentions on going to, I would have found a way to get to New York next month to see that match live.
What directions do you think they have at this point for Sting and Taker at WrestleMania?
Dude, that's my match, man. That's what I want.
You were just acting like you didn't think it was going that way, but
I don't think it's going that way. I don't think we're getting that. I think what you mentioned on a previous show, I think we're more likely to get Undertaker and Stone Cold than we're likely to get Taker and Sting. Like, I don't know what they have planned for Sting at WrestleMania. Obviously, Smart Money says he's booked because, you're going to be in Dallas. You want to sell 100,000 plus seats. It's basically Sting's hometown. I knew, he's billed from Venice Beach, California, but the dude's from Texas. So, yeah.
What about a triple threat, triple retirement match?
What, Sting, Taker, and Austin?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wouldn't that be all right?
That would be crazy, is what it would be, sir. And I would still prefer to see Taker and Sting go one-on-one. But the triple
just because the build-up would be so great with those two guys.
I think it would. I think it would be amazing, and especially if Taker's going in as a heel, so you get that fan support behind Sting. Oh man, that would just. I got chills just thinking about it.
So we closed the door on Battleground. We now are setting our sights for SummerSlam, which is that 5 weeks away too as well, I believe?
It's August 23rd, so
4 weeks maybe.
Let me see for sure.
Today's the 19th, so it'd be 4 weeks. Or is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So we're heading into...
That's 5 weeks away.
5 weeks? We're heading into SummerSlam. Let's see what we got going on in the sites. We already talked about Taker. Hopefully we get some answers there. Obviously, we could probably expect the Intercontinental title triple threat match. Would you like someone added to add a little more freshness to the build? Since they already spent 5 weeks building this. Would you like a little more freshness added to it? Maybe have somebody different in there, maybe a Stardust or anybody.
I still think we're getting Stardust and Mel.
Oh, maybe how about a Neville?
Arrow at SummerSlam. Yeah, I would throw Neville in there. Make it a Fatal 4-Way. But if you do a Fatal 4-Way there, you can't do a Fatal 4-Way for the United States title as well. So if you do a Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title, you gotta just do triple threat for the United States title at SummerSlam. And here's my problem. Can you? I know you said you think Owens is walking out of SummerSlam with the United States Championship.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you really see Owens losing to Finn Balor on Saturday night and then winning the United States Championship the next night at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, I would be less shocked to see Finn. I would be less shocked to see Kevin Owens leave that weekend as 2-time NXT champion than I would to see him win the United States title.
Do you think Owens is even on the SummerSlam card?
You think he should be, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Be. He's had 2 to 3 matches of the year.
I think they would be nuts not to have him on SummerSlam, but I don't know, dude. There's a lot of questions. Well, you know Sasha Banks is going to be at SummerSlam, but she's going to be defending her women's championship at Takeover against, I'm not going to say who because spoilers. But, and Sasha Banks will be defending her NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver. But obviously she's going to be involved with those teams at SummerSlam the next night. So, I would say Owens has to be on the SummerSlam card. But what do you think the direction for the Divas is? A one-on-one match for the title, or are we still kind of in that AJ window? I think it's a 3-on-3-on-3 match at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be an elimination style match. I think it's almost going to be like a Survivor Series.
That'd be cool.
Style match between the 3 teams, and it's going to be. I think it'll be elimination style, and the last team standing wins. So that's my prediction anyway. That's what I would do.
So. When does she pass AJ? Have you figured that out yet?
How many days is it right now?
Oh, I don't know. They said today, but as I do most times with Michael Cole, I space them off. So I'm not sure.
Checking the Showtime Tron 5000.
So I'd assume that SummerSlam is too early for for Nikki to drop it, so probably United Champions.
All right. Well, AJ's reign was 295 days.
Oh, I think Nikki's only like at 220.
Nikki is currently 238.
Oh, okay.
So
2 months. Night of Champions, she might break it right before it. Night of Champions.
Okay, so it's 295 days for AJ. We're going to subtract the 238 days that Nikki has been champion. So that's 57 days. SummerSlam is 5 weeks away.
Not going to happen.
So that's 35 days. So if you take the 35 days out of SummerSlam and you do a match like I said, that's 22 days. Nikki has to hold the title from there to break the record, which I would imagine would fall right around Night of Champions.
Yeah, I'd assume Night of Champions.
There you go. I think Nikki Bella drops the Divas Championship at or around Night of Champions.
Yep, that makes
sense.
sense.
So the question is, what day is Night of Champions this year? So that's going to be the interesting thing. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the date for Night of Champions is.
Night of Champions this year is September 20th.
Okay, so that's 20 days there. August, which would be 7, so that's another 27 days. So yeah, by Night of Champions, Nikki Bella will be the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. So you do the big multi-women match at SummerSlam, and Nikki drops the title in Night of Champions to Charlotte or Sasha Banks. And bada bing, bada boom.
Makes complete sense. Hey,
we just booked it for WWE. That isn't that hard.
Not many podcasts where you get a calculator involved, but hey, we just did.
That's what we do, man.
Make
it educational up in this bitch.
So we basically got most of the bases covered. We basically filled out the card for the most part. I mean, at least we know the players. We just don't know the game quite yet.
I think we should go full blown SummerSlam speculation on the next show later on this week.
Yeah, we got to see where Taker's at. We got to see if Seth Rollins. I mean, Brock Lesnar still legitimately has a right to the title match with the no contest. Taker, I don't know. If his intentions are solely on Lesnar, or does he want a piece of Rollins too? And do they put him in the title match? I don't know.
Because if I'm Undertaker, I want a piece of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
One, because you both of them been treating Kane like crap. Rollins more so than Brock, and the fact you cost me my undefeated streak, so I'm gonna cost you your shot at becoming champion again. Oh, you still have a title match because I ruined this one? Well, I'm involved in a triple threat now at SummerSlam.
It makes complete sense because Lesnar did the deed on Kane's leg, and obviously we know what Rollins has done to Kane lately, so makes sense. And God, if we get a triple threat, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah,
well, that's gonna do it for. That's gonna do it for Lost in the Midcard, the Battleground review show. Once again, as always, we are hosted by SpiderDuck.net, and thanks to SpiderDuck.net, they allow us to be on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube. Both of those links are on Lost in the Midcard, Facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. And for Matt, this is Jeremy. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back with you this Thursday.